Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another episode here on African Confessions. The following story that you're going to be listening to, it was sent to me by one of our dear brother, and this is the translation of the message that he sent to me. The translation, it reads like this. Hello, Brother Nashi, how are you? Can you please post my own story as hidden identity? I am a 40-year-old man and I am the last born in our family, and I used to share the same name with my father. I was named after my own father. Currently, I have my businesses. I have grocery stores as well as a bus in Gweru. That is where I have most of my business, and one grocery store which is in Harare. But from the village from where I come from, I was born in Gokwe, in an area that is called Nembudzi. That is where I come from. But me and my father, we were ritualists, but my father, he has since passed away, and I am the one who took over these things that my father left for me, these tokologies. So the way that we took these tokologies, my father then went to this other traditional healer, and when he went to that traditional healer, the tokology told him that he wanted to give him some of these charms that he was supposed to use, because he wanted to be a very big businessman. Because at our home we used to have this other grinding mill, so my father wanted a lot of customers to come to him, because now a lot of people, they were able to afford to buy those grinding mills in our village. So my father wanted to be the only one who had a grinding mill that was still operating, as well as his shop. He had a very small tuck shop, but he wanted that tuck shop to be very big. And then my father went and spoke with that traditional healer. The only problem was that this traditional healer said it was not possible for him to get this tokology, because this tokology, it would want to be, because this tokology, first of all, for it to start operating, it wanted to know whom was it going to be given to after my father would have passed away. So amongst his sons and daughters, my father then chose me. And when my father had chosen me, he then took me. At that time, I was somewhere around 34 years of age when my father called me, and he told me that he wanted us to go and visit this other healer. When we went there, my father had lied to my mom and my siblings that he was constantly having this headache. So there was this other traditional healer that he had about. So he wanted to go and confirm with that traditional healer if this headache, if it was a result of someone that was bewitching him, because in our village there are a lot of witches that are well known. So this was just a cover-up story. Me and my father, we then traveled all the way to Chipinge, and we stayed there for about a month. We were staying at that traditional healer's house, because when you want to do your rituals, your money-making rituals at this traditional healer's house, you stay at his house throughout your initiation. And once you have been initiated, that is when he will require you to pay the amount that he wants. So for the whole month, we were staying and working for this traditional healer. And the reason as to why we were working for him, doing other household chores, it was because of the food that he was giving to us. So me and my father, we stayed for a month whilst the rituals were being done, and then we were initiated. My father was given a tokology. You know, people just say a tokology, and most of you do not even know what it looks like. So a lot of people, when they hear people saying that I have a tokology, it is not something that you can think that when you go to that person's house, you will immediately see that this is a tokology. Like in my father's case, and we were given this other flower, and we were told that we had to go and plant this flower at my father's compound. Even right now, this flower, it is still there. It is just that it survives on the blood of our relatives, those ones that would have died. So it depends with the situation. There are some people that keep their tokologies in their bedroom, but as for me and my father, our rituals demanded that we were to be given flour, and after that after we had been given this flour, we then planted this flour, and then we actually sacrificed one of my father's sister, and we used her blood so that this flower can blossom. When this flower started to blossom, then we started to see a lot of groceries. Since me and my father, we just wanted to get rich, but by being hard workers, like having our own businesses, we did not want to have this magic money that just appears out of nowhere, because that traditional healer told us that if you just want your magic money to come to you, like if you are lazy so much that you do not want to work for the rest of your life, yes, it is possible that you will be given what he called magic money that just appears underneath your pillow or anywhere. But as for me and my father, we said, so what are the consequences of us being given this magic money? Then my father was told that, well, this tokoloshi, it is going to make you to become its own husband. And then this tokoloshi, the way that it was going to look like, it would be like a snake. So me and my father were going to be sleeping with this snake. But me and my father, we both agreed, and we said that no, this was not the way to go. It was far much better that we keep on being hard workers and we work very hard, but being assisted by these tokoloshis. So we were given that flour. So after we had been given that flour, me and my father, we then returned back home. When we returned back home, my father and I, we had been given this other instruction that we were supposed to sacrifice one amongst my father's cattle, and if it was going to be a bull, then it was going to be far much better. My father and I, we then started pretending as if we wanted to make those farm bricks, and we went to this other anthill because we had been told that we were supposed to dig up a 2-meter deep grave, and that was wide enough such that we could bury this bull alive. When me and my father had seen that our grave that we had been digging was deep enough, then late at night, me and my father, we went to his kraal, and we then took that bull and we headed that bull towards that place where we had dug that 2-meter deep hole. And after we had pushed that bull into that hole, me and my father, we started to bury that bull alive. Yes, we buried it alive. And this bull, even right now, people just think that it went missing, but it was me and my father who buried this bull alive. After we had buried this bull, we had been told that we had to sacrifice, and the sacrifice that was needed was a calf. So amongst his cattle, my father had this other cow that was still... So amongst his cattle, my father had this other cow that had a calf. So we then took that calf again, we stole it from his kraal, me and my dad. We then went with this calf into the bushes where we slaughtered it, and after we had slaughtered it, the traditional healer had told us that we were not supposed to take the meat of that calf that we had slaughtered. We were supposed to leave it there because his own tokoloshis, they were going to come and eat the meat. So after we had finished slaughtering that calf, and when we had taken the blood from that calf, then we actually saw some birds that came flying down, and these birds, they transformed themselves and they became like little men, and they started to feast on that calf, on the flesh of that calf that we had slaughtered. After that, we then took the bucket that was full of blood. Then we went to that place where we had buried that bull alive. Then we started to pour the blood on top of that bull. When all of these rituals were finished, we were told to wait, and yes, we waited. We had cleared this other room because that healer had told us that the groceries that we were going to have in our shop, these groceries, they were going to be stolen from these other very big supermarkets, and these groceries, they will keep on appearing in that room that we had selected. So my father and I, we waited and we waited until one morning I heard my father calling me. When I went to that room, I saw that this room, it was packed, it was full of stock, the one that we were supposed to use to start our own business. So my father loaded his tuck shop and I then went to Gweru. And since I did not have any money, I would take some of that stock and give it to her until when I saw that I was now making money. And this business that we were running, we were not operating at a loss, because this stock, it was being stolen from the other shops that are in Harare, Bulawayo, wherever, like your big supermarkets. That is where this stock was being stolen by our Tokoloshi. So when they will do their stock taking, they will notice that the stock is missing, but no one will be able to see where this stock went to. That is how me and my father started to make our money. When my father passed away, it was after our auntie had passed away. So we took her blood after she had died. Then we went with her blood. Then we started to water that plant. My father had been told that he was not supposed to eat the food that had been prepared when he was not there. He was not supposed to eat food or meat that had been cooked and salt added to this meat. So then there was this other day, since my father and I were making a lot of money, I knew that my father, what he was doing was that he was going around dating these young women. So I think that he forgot, and maybe he wanted to please this young woman that he was dating. This woman then brought some food in a small lunchbox, and as they were hanging around at the places where they used to hang around, my father ate the food. When my father ate the food, I was at home on that day in our village there in Gokwe. I witnessed as I saw that the flour was getting dry. Even my wife, she asked me the reason as to why this flour was getting dry, because it was always blossoming, and it is really beautiful to look at. And I immediately knew that my father had broken the rules to this covenant. Even that traditional healer, after I had gone into the bedroom to collect my phone because I wanted to call my father to hear if he was okay, that was when I saw the traditional healer sitting on my bed. I was shocked, and he told me not to worry, for my father was the one who was in trouble. I was going to be okay. That healer then told me that if I did not want to die, and if I still wanted to be with my beautiful wife and to enjoy this money, then I had to do another covenant with him. Otherwise the flower was going to kill me, as it was also going to kill my father. And then I agreed to have a deal with that traditional healer. So we broke that covenant and we made a new covenant without the knowledge of my father. After we had broken that covenant, I then sacrificed my father, and I said to the flower, "Oh dear flower, I know that you have withered away and you need the blood of a human being so that you can come back to life. How about I sacrifice to you the blood of my father?" And this flower, the Tokoloshi, agreed. And on that same night, that was when I sacrificed my father. My father died whilst he was sleeping in a guest house with one of his mistresses, but we did not want the people in the village to know that my father had been cheating on our mother. We just kept it as a secret. And the reason as to why I pushed for this to be kept as a secret, because I did not want to know that at that guest house it was more like a crime scene. That is how I ended up sacrificing my own father. I have 2 buses that are on the road right now, and I have several taxis, and all of these things, they are given to me by my faithful Tokoloshi. Yo, dear listeners, right there was a message that was sent to me by our dear brother right there. Yo, that is just betrayal, betraying your own father. He's saying that the Tokoloshi the traditional healer just appeared, and the healer said, "You and your father, you are both going to die, but I can give you a better deal. Let us do another covenant, and in this covenant you are going to sacrifice your own father." And this brother agreed to sacrifice his own father. Strange things do happen in this world.